me and Brother Rick and Dustin at End Time Generation, and we started going through all the verses in the Bible. We sat there, we just kept popping them off, looking for them. And what we're seeing with the 11:11s, if you go through the Bible, you will see a common thing with all of them, most of them, I should say, and that is the common thread is there is a harvesting, there's judgment and harvesting that takes place, judgment and blessing that happens with the 11:11 different verses throughout the Bible. Okay, you'll see a hint of that in there. Harvest and judgment. Okay, escape, judgment. All right, so keep that in mind as you go look for all that stuff. Just try to go through the Bible and just look at everything.
Somebody put in the comments a little while ago that 11 is the biblical number of disorder, because it's one short of ordinal perfection, which is 12. And that may be another aspect of it too, is that 11:11. A lot of us that are in the watching community, we know we are in a time of disorder. We know something's not right with this world. And every time we see that number, it just calls it to our forefront again. These aren't normal times, and that just means the rapture's getting closer.
Very great point, Derek. That I always talk about that too. Number 11 is the number of disorder. All right. So, and that's where that's definitely where we're at. Chester here, he has a question. Let's see if I can word this right without setting off anything here. Let's say Bob is the Rafiki disease. I don't know if you guys watch The Lion King. I call it the Rafiki disease, or the Big Bird snake bite deal, or the Big Bird sickness. Will that be snake bite 2.0? Yeah. You know what? What's interesting right now is they're trying to promote this stuff, but it's so weak. All you do is see one or two people got it. Oh my goodness, shut the whole place down, and that's what they're doing. And now they're even though they hardly have any cases, I saw on one report today that trucking companies now are receiving these massive orders for the snake bites 2.0 for the monkey one. And they are mass shipping these things like crazy, getting huge orders in. And these trucking companies, like, man, they're dominating all the trucks now, and they're trying to ship them all over the country. They're taking a bunch of them to Tennessee and Indianapolis, and they want to ship them out on planes and stuff now. So they're moving these things as fast as they can. And I promise you this: it has nothing to do with the monkey. This stuff, whatever they have, it was made decades ago.
Yeah.
Okay. This is just a catalyst to get you to take it. Okay, you can't tell me they came up with a way to combat this thing when it takes 15 to 20 years to properly make one of these little doohickeys to combat a disease. Okay, so this is just a scare tactic. So you got this one, you got the bug one they're coming out with now, the mosquito one. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you just going to have to do your own research, man. I'm trying to use code words here. Not getting in trouble for this stuff, man.
You do post this stuff also on your channel, don't you, Bob? Or you have some
I do, Bob. I'll say monkey. I won't use the word.
So, End Time Dream and Vision. You can check out Bob's channel. Get some more information.
And also what I think about that is that whatever we had in 2020 was only a tailgate party. Was nothing compared to what might grow up. When I go on my feed channel, there are people, the People's Voice there. There's a new video there, 15 minutes, talking about Bill Gates. He wants to spread all that in October before the elections. So what's going to happen there, right?
And one thing I like to say too, though, is, a bunch of people took that experiment back in 2020, 2021. All right. And they're still protecting it now because I got in trouble for it in my channel recently. So they're still protecting it. So I think what's going to happen is there is no sickness actually going around, or maybe there's a little bit. I think what we're going to see now is what was the result of what happened in 2020. There's going to be a lot of weird stuff popping up inside people that they're going to blame it on this crap that they're trying to promote here. Okay, when it's already in them.
Some of one call them primate pimples.
Yeah. So
2020 was the training wheels. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Tailgate party.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
All right.
mhm.
All
What
right.
we got? What's next?
Yes, we still have 12 minutes.
Do you guys think for when they shall say peace and safety could be referring to ceasefire talks? Well,
No.
peace and safety, when they're not dealing with weapons, you know, what else could it be? I mean, what do you think there, Brother John? Right away you had
I don't think that's going to be the main thing. It might be part of it. It might be the beginning of a signature or something, or who knows in November what's going to happen. I don't want to bring politics on, of course, but who knows what's going to happen. What's going to happen there is the beginning of the peace and safety accord or whatever. I don't know. But I don't think that the ceasefire, if it would happen tonight, amen, I praise God, but I don't think it would be the peace and safety.
No, I don't think so either.
I agree. I agree with John. I think it's a small part of it, but it's not it. My opinion, the peace and safety, this is just my opinion. My opinion is when Israel gets to go ahead to rebuild their temple, and you've got the Muslims and the Jews that are somehow able to get through this thing where it's like, okay, we'll let Israel rebuild the temple. They're going to think, okay, this is the age of peace and safety. We're all living in harmony. We get to have our temple, and maybe they have their mosque or whatever. That's for me, that's the biggie when I think peace and safety.
I agree with you, Derek. I agree with you on that one. I think there's a lot of it deals with the religious ecumenical church as well. Peace and safety. So you have peace in terms of the ecumenical church, and then you have safety in terms of war, right? It can be all, I think it can all be combined, but I do believe that rider on the white horse does have a lot to do with an ecumenical church, a one world religion that is just around the corner.
Yes.
And
I
I
agree.
don't think we're going to see that, by the way. I don't think we're going to see the peace and safety, because that particular scripture says, for when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them.
That's right.
I think we're gone, and our departure makes way for that man of sin to structure that peace and safety.
Brother Lee, what do you think?
No, I'm going to go along with the path you guys are on, that peace and safety is going to involve different aspects in the tribulation. It will be after the rapture of the church. I had actually just turned to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and looked at that very passage. He says, but at the times and seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write to you, for you yourselves know that the day of the Lord so comes as a thief in the night. And the thief in the night aspect is obviously the front end of the day of the Lord. It's got to be the rapture end. It can't be the second coming end, because he won't come as a thief in the night at the second coming. The whole world knows where he's going, which is Armageddon. They know when he's coming. They're gathering at the right place, the right time, so they can get crushed in the wine press. But then it's during this time, shortly after the rapture or immediately after, they're going to say peace and safety. And then sudden destruction is going to come like a woman in labor pain. So it's going to start out bad and get worse in intensity and in frequency.
Amen.
Amen.
Question here from Swift Bear. It says, can apostasy or falling away mean a political or governmental rebellion? People have been falling away from Sure.
Here's the question we need to ask before we can answer that question. Are we talking about the use of the word apostasy in the New Testament in general? Or are we talking about the use of the word apostasia in 2 Thessalonians 2:3? I'm assuming that they're talking about 2 Thessalonians 2:3.
Yeah. That's gets a little confusing at this point here. You want to elaborate a little bit on that?
Yes, it's obvious that we have several passages in the New Testament, even if they don't use the Greek word apostasia, they're talking about an apostasy that will characterize the end of the church age. And if you step back, you give yourself a little elevation, the man of discernment can see that this apostasy started with the rise of rationalism in the 16 and 1700s it accelerated with the rise of evolution and Marxism in the 1800s, and with the rise of modern drug usage, the return to intentional return to paganism, with abortion, with public education. We could just add more things that came up in the 1900s. This has brought apostasy to the entire Western world, and this is a parabolic curve that's getting steeper and steeper as it climbs. However, when we come to 2 Thessalonians 2:3,
All right.
we're not talking about apostasy in general. That's talking about a very specific act of apostasy. It's the apostasy.
All right. Welcome, everyone. There's going to be a few guys joining us in a little bit from Uptime. So what we do here is we party hard. We party hard after the Uptime show, Uptime Community Church, and we just we dive a little bit more into the comments here, because sometimes you run out of time on Uptime, because especially if you have guests and everything. So sometimes what we like to do here is just unpack a little bit and then focus a little bit more in the comments, for the next 5, 10, 15, 30 minutes, an hour, who knows? It's overtime, man. You never know how long overtime is going to ask. Warming up. Yep. Yeah, exactly. You caught that. I was stretching. I don't want to pull a hammy or anything, so let's just welcome everyone. Let's see here. Reminded everyone a bunch. That's awesome. Thank you, Pamelina. Perfect. Let's see here. Bob was just on for a second. He's monitoring us while he's on the other channel. Oh, this is not Bob. Okay. Who? What? I think that's Bob. Let's see here. What else is going on here? Gary Gates, I think may or may not be coming on. Not sure. I know he's checking it out right now, so we'll see. First Nations, awesome. Show the mug again. Right here. This is rare. These mugs are going up in value. I think it's at like $1,000 a mug, something like that now. At least in my head, it's that much money. Let's see here. What else we got here? When they say it isn't written when there is, I know it is traditionally understood that there's peace and safety, but that little difference keeps gnawing away at my thoughts when they say it isn't written when there is. I know it is traditionally. All right. I think I know what you're saying, but I'm not sure. That's okay. Maybe rephrase it a little bit, and then we can address it, because we got time. Here. All right. Let's see what else here. Josh is in the house. Brother Josh. Scott is in the house. Are you flying right now? Are you flying safe right now, Scott? I just need to know. Do you have it on cruise control? Or have you landed the big bird? Have you landed? Are you okay? Are you safe? Because I want you to fly safe. Hope you're flying safe. Maybe you're in the airport right now. Not sure. All right. Let's see. Always safe. Awesome. That's great. Are you flying though right now? That would be actually funny. Can you imagine being in a roller coaster as you're about to get raptured, and you're going straight up? Maybe it's in Las Vegas at the top of one of those buildings, and you're getting let out over a building, and you go down, and all of a sudden you go up, and then all of a sudden you get raptured, and you just keep going, and you meet the Lord in the air. That'd be amazing. A long career of perfect. Yeah, I don't think pilots can make a mistake in the airlines industry, because it's kind of like you don't really see too many motorcycle accidents per se, because it's usually casualties, or what do you call it? What am I trying to say? Fatalities is usually, not to say that can happen with your plane, but it's a kind of a big deal if something happens to a plane. It's kind of a big deal. It affects a lot of people. So I'm glad you're safe. Crystal says hi, and she's watching. That is sweet. If that's my sister, Crystal. Is that my sister, Crystal, that is watching? Awesome. That is cool. I feel like I have more and more family watching. My mom's watching. I don't know if she's watching from the TV or if it's kind of combative at home for my mom, because sometimes it's kind of like Star Trek or Black Swan. Star Wars or Black Swan or CSI or Black Swan. My dad likes to watch all this stuff, so it's kind of a fight between Black Swan and a TV show on Netflix. It's a fight. So maybe one time what I should do is go to my folks' house and do a live stream at the kitchen table while my dad's watching Star Trek in the background, and then every once in a while we can get updates, and then I can interview my mom or something. I think that would be fun. That'd be really good. Do you think a Black Swan event will happen before the election? Great title for your YouTube channel. I hope you have a YouTube channel. I hope you have videos on your channel, because that is a great channel. Kind of think of that from Lost. Oh, I think it's Oceana. Isn't that the plane that crashed? And I don't want to give spoilers. If you haven't seen Lost, I'm not going to tell you that they were all dead from the beginning, because I don't want to wreck it for anybody. I'm not that guy. I'm not the friend that tells you the end at the beginning of the series just when you put it in. I'm not going to tell you that it's almost a waste of 6 seasons or 7 or whatever, because they're all dead from the first season and it's just a dream and all this stuff. I'm not going to do that to you, because I really value your time and I think you should watch it from the beginning. So just ignore what I'm saying, because I don't want to tell you that. I don't want to tell you that that's what happens. I don't want to be that guy. Those people are weird to do that kind of thing, to tell you the end when you just sat down with some popcorn, perhaps a large cup of Black Swan coffee. My wife was asking me downstairs. My son's here too. They're like, why are you making coffee at 8:30 at night? And I'm like, I gotta represent. I gotta have my coffee. It's late at night. And perhaps I might have had too much already, because I feel a little bit hyper tonight. Just a little bit hyper, a little excited. So, this is good. You're welcome. I saved you 6 years. You're welcome. Are there any shows that people are watching right now in a TV series that you don't know the end? This would be a good time to ask in the comment section, or to tell us what TV show that you don't want any spoilers. This is a good time to mention it, because I promise nobody's going to give you the spoiler ending of any show, any movie. We don't do that here. We're not like that. We're not like that. The reason why I bring up spoilers is I got to let you know some spoilers, folks. I got to let you know some spoilers here. Spoilers. Basically, I got to tell you the ending. I got to tell you of how this all ends. If you haven't read the Bible yet and you flip to the end of the Bible, we win. Or I should say, we've won. Let that wrap your brain for a little bit. Put a little bit of lettuce around that steak. Put it on the barbecue. Let it simmer for a few minutes. We've won. It's finished. So God wrote the Bible with the end of mine from the beginning, before the foundation of the world, the plan was put in place. Before the devil was created, before the angels were created, spoiler alert, we win. We've won. It's tricky, right? We actually won. So if you think about this just for a second, like, if you can get this, I think everything will kind of, all the pieces will start piecing together. And I feel like my head is cut off. I feel like my head is chopped off here. How's that? Oh, I know. I'm moving my monitor when I actually have the camera here. How silly is that? I'm like, Urgh. So, what was I talking about? It doesn't take much to distract me. It doesn't take much. It was good. I had something that was really, oh yes. Okay. I got it back. I got it back, folks. Let me just double check here real quick. I want to just check my email because I want to make sure I gave everybody the link. They're still going hard. Wow, they are going into overtime. Okay, so that's all right. So, if you can get this concept, I think the pieces will start coming together, because I hear this from time to time. I hear people say, oh, it's so tough. It's so tough to not see the Lord right now. It's so tough. Like I just struggle every day because I don't like my neighbor. I don't like my job. I don't like my dog. And if anybody wants a dog, let me know, because I am giving away free puppies. One puppy. Free. For you. If you want a puppy, it's a Dachshund. It's not really a puppy. It's more like 6 years old. And if you want a dog, if you're one of those people that always wanted a dog, I have a dog for you. 6 years old. And there's a little bit of problems with it. Not much. Okay, he's diabetic. Okay. Let that just go. Let it go. He's such a good dog. But if you want him, just leave me a comment and I will deliver the dog to you personally. And I will deliver a lifetime supply of needles, insulin. Remember, you got to give it to him 7 o'clock in the morning, Mountain Standard Time, and 7 o'clock at night, twice a day. And he may not last more than a few more months. He's got everything wrong with him right now. But I just wanted to spitball. I just wanted to throw it out there for you people. If you want a dog and you're like, I don't want a long-term commitment of 17 years, it's okay. Have my dog. You get maybe a year out of him. Like, he's so good. He doesn't do very much at all. He's so good. I'm telling you. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Drinks a ton of water. So, if you want a puppy, I got you covered. And I think I agree with Lisa. After this, no more puppies for us. We're done investing in veterinarian clinics. I'm done with that every single month. Done. So now I'm not giving away my dog. I love my dog. But I say that to all my friends whenever they come over to visit. I hold my puppy and I'm like, look, isn't he so cute? Here, hold him. And then they're holding him and I'm like, hey, this is your puppy now. How does it feel to own a diabetic dog that's only 6 years old? And he was diabetic basically 3 years ago. We bought the dog when he was a pup, purebred, but they didn't tell us that he was genetically whatever, had all kinds of issues with him, spine, back, everything, paralyzed, whatever, all this stuff, just everything. You name it, he had it. So I tried to pawn him off with my friends for a couple of months at a time, but nobody's biting. I don't know if I'm going to get another dog. I don't know. don't think so. I would have to live in the garage for a very, very long time. I'd have to go live with my mother. If I brought another dog home, I would. I'd have to go live with my mother. All right. My wife won't let me. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Got some nukes coming in here. Let's see. Info from Jonathan Kleck's channel about New York being nuked were sent to Tucker Carlson, Fox News, Senator Rand Paul, Charlie. They are hiding it. So, New York City is being nuked right now, or nukes are being sent to Tucker Carlson, Fox News. See, these are things you got to get specific. And if I'm supposed to represent the news, you guys got to help me out. You got to be more specific. More specific. And Gina, how you doing? Where's Gary? Where's my twin brother, Gary? Where is he? I'm looking for my twin brother, and I don't see him anywhere. I don't see him. Okay, read it. I'll read it again. Info from Jonathan Kleck's channel about New York being nuked. Info about it. Okay, I get you. Okay, so information about the idea, I guess, that New York is going to be nuked first. See how I have to fill in the blanks for you there, JB? Were sent to Tucker Carlson, Fox News, Trey Gowdy, I think, yeah, Senator Ron Paul, Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, Meg King, and they are hiding it. So Tucker Carlson is hiding it, or I don't know. Wrong. See, I still can't read. it. Maybe because it's all in caps, I feel like you're shouting at me. Take your time. Rewrite it. Just spread it out. Put a period in. It's beautiful. The English language is beautiful. Just spread it out. Put some punctuation in there. Spice it up a little bit. Don't have a run-on sentence. Just make it nice. And then redo it, and I'll read it again. For you. I will. Okay, we're in overtime. The boys, I believe Bob's coming. They're still going on. Oh, they wrapped up. Okay, they're coming. I should pretend. I'm going to pretend that I got raptured. I'm going to try this. So when they come on, I'm not going to be here. Let's see what they say, okay? I'm going to move over, and I'm going to see, how can I do this? This is going to be very difficult. I'm going to pretend, I think if I put the mouse over here, I'm going to bring them on, but I got to cut the music before they come on because I want it to be quiet. Okay, so the idea is when the brothers come on from Uptime, I am going to move away and I'm going to pretend that I'm raptured. I'm going to pretend I'm not here. How can I do this? Will it work? Yeah, I'll watch for a second. And then what I'm going to do, this is so embarrassing, but I think this is why you guys come here. Not only do we get deep revelation, but we have a little bit of fun. This is... Watch this. Okay, watch. Shh. Let's see. Okay. See if I can go over here. Hang on. Okay, right here.
Where is it at?
I don't know.
Shame!
He got raptured. Oh well.
Oh,
Get out of here.
what is he doing? Is he looking for crumbs?
I thought maybe I could fool you guys for a second.
No, you can't. I'm sorry. You cannot fool a Frenchman with those funny things.
No?
No, you can't.
Those funny things.
Those
Welcome.
funny things.
Welcome.
You know, Hey, brother Rick, Departure Heaven. Why don't you come on here, man?
That's right. I
Where's
sent
he
him a link.
I
I think he's ignoring me.
Shane,
Put in a comment section for.
Mr. Shane, are we live now? Are we live now?
Oh yeah, 100% we're live.
All right, good. So good evening, everybody. For those who were not in the Uptime,
There he is.
good evening.
Here
Good
I am,
evening, Mr. Rick.
guys.
Can you, Shane, Mr. Shane, can you make me one of the whatever you call it, the blue by name?
What would you like me to do?
To blue my name?
Yep, make it blue.
Yes.
Hey, Watchdog. Long time no see, man.
Yes, Mr. Rick.
I love you, man.
I did.
I miss you, man. I miss you.
I know.
I miss you. I miss those good old days.
How's that?
I
Is
did
that
start talking with people. Now I'm gonna have more time. I am fully retired. I got all my paperwork and everything.
better?
I love the background.
Ooh.
So I already talked with Mr. Gary Gate. I talked also with Shane, and
Yes.
of course now Mr. Greg and Mr. Bob knows about it. So I got more
Nice.
Amen.
more time now, if I may say.
I'm going to be
Beautiful
on
thing.
Gary's show tomorrow, guys, at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've been invited to go on Gary's show. That's
Nice.
Not So Random YouTube channel. If you guys check it out,
When?
I'll be on there
Random.
tomorrow at 5 p.m.
Let me
Yeah,
see.
me too. I'm on it tomorrow.
And he's going
That's
to
7.
interview me, and it'll be great. And I'm going to bring up the end times because we are in the end times.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you guys want to talk about? So, let's talk about how much time do we have left?
Wow,
What's the
that's a
next
good
Black
topic
Swan
right
event?
there. There I am, guys. Oh,
One-on-one.
yes. Check out that picture of me. Okay. What's it?
That's a nice mugshot.
It looks
Were,
like a
were,
mugshot.
were you 14 on that?
I think I just saw the rapture in that picture. I looked like I just saw it happen.
Yeah.
It looked like that face of suspense or something, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Brother
Yeah.
Shane, what do you want to get into here?
Okay.
Well,
Thank you
go
for
away.
doing that. That's pretty
It's your
good.
show, so come
No,
on.
it's
we don't
it's-
have all night. It's already almost 12:30 here. So bring up your questions so we can
10:52
entertain your customers.
It's the fans. It's overtime. It's the fans. Whatever the fans want to talk about, we're going to
Okay.
focus on the fans
Well,
here a little bit. And
I don't have access. Well, I do have the chat now. Yes, indeed. Okay.
Yeah. and then if there's something that you want to carry over that maybe you couldn't dive into too much from the last show,
Yes.
feel free to do that here. My mic's giving me grief here.
I know some of the things I wrote down that I wasn't able to mention during the last broadcast. I could mention them here. Some of the things that we're seeing right now happening in Europe right now is the amount of censorship happening to regular people. Right now, essentially, they're fast tracking anybody to prison that says anything bad on the internet that hurts people's feelings. So what they're doing is throwing people in prison for hurting people's feelings and talking bad about them. And basically, all the migrants coming in, you talk bad about the migrants, you go to prison. So when they take you to prison, Rick, they'll take a murderer and the rapist and a child molester, and they get released from prison, and you go in there and take their place. So they're bringing in one because they're already overpopulated. So they bring in one, release one, bring in one, release one. So now they're filling the prisons with people who don't like their government, and speaking out about how bad things are, and imprisoning all of them now, and releasing all the bad people. So that's what's going on over there right now.
Yeah, up is down and down is up, folks. The evil is good and good is evil. See, it's a reprobate mind, folks. That's what this world is doing. Satan is laughing in his throne right now, and in hell he thinks it's so funny. You know, we're gonna get our last laugh when we go up in those clouds. And basically, you know, I'm not gonna say it on air, but you get it, folks. We'll be giving him the evil finger on the way up, which something I know I shouldn't say, but you get what I mean, folks. The evil finger on the way up. I'm gonna say, screw you, Satan. Go to hell and stay there. You know? I mean, you gotta be blunt a little bit, folks. I mean, I'm not saying to be cuss on the air and something which I don't do. I don't even cuss when I'm out there. I keep my mouth clean because Jesus said to keep a clean mouth. You know that, folks. Cussing, if you're a Christian, you talk to people and they hear you swear, well, so that's going to make you look bad already. And they'll say, hey, well, that's a phony. I don't see anything real in that. You know, your light is supposed to shine in this world. And they see that, a non-believer sees that. And so, well, I wish I could be as clean as him. And then you just share the good news and say, look, you could become that right now. You know? So, yeah. I mean, like I said, though, I will be laughing and pointing my finger on the way up to heaven. Like, I got you, buddy.
I have to fix my mic for a sec, so keep going. I'm just going to remove myself for a second.
Oh, yeah.
You mean you rapture yourself for a second?
I'll make Watchdog a moderator as well in the background, so I'll be back in 1 minute.
Oh.
Gonna be a moderator. All right. Go get him, Watchdog.
My name is Blue, and I can see when I talk to people where I am. I
gotta eject myself for a second, guys. I'll be right back. I gotta leave for a second. I gotta change this name, and it won't let me change it unless I leave the room. So I'll be right back.
Sure.
No. It can
How
change.
do I modify it?
Well, you just go in the bottom left small picture.
Settings, right?
No. Go to the small picture of yourself in the bottom left.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Click on the 3 dots. Click on change name or rename, whatever it says.
Okay.
And then you can fix it.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. There
And
we
then
go.
you can put your stuff there, whatever you want to put there.
There we go. You got too much.
While he's doing that, I'd like to elaborate a little bit on what's happening right now in Europe, because that's happening here right now. They just haven't gotten so bad to the point now where we have to speak out against them so bad, you know. So basically what's happening right now, the global elite have capitalized on the whole Islam religion that the Catholic Church has been cultivating for the last 1400 years. Okay. So the Muslim religion, what they believe is they must have global chaos in order to usher in their caliphate, which will be the Antichrist. So the Muslim men are like, we need to be able to reach every place all around the world, get into every country and cause chaos. So that way our Messiah will show up and turn the whole globe into Islam world. Okay. That's what they believe. Now we know that's not going to happen on their behalf. That's not where it's going to go. The Islam religion. I'm not going to get into all that. But it was created by a bunch of Catholic monks and stuff like that. And they used them to essentially be a proxy army for them against their enemies, stuff like that. But it got out of control. So that's what happened with that. So these Muslim men all want to fight a war. And the global elite are like, we can use these guys. All we have to do is just get them into the area, and they're going to follow their religion and do all this chaos. But you don't even tell them a single thing. So they'll do the work for us and bring in chaos. So this is why the Muslim men, they couldn't get out of the country. They couldn't afford it. They couldn't get past customs. They couldn't get past borders and stuff like that. So the global elite made it possible for all of them to enter all the countries, thanks to people like George Soros and stuff like that. So that's how they're getting into our country, getting into Europe, getting into UK, getting into all these countries now, because the global elite are helping them with their agenda. Okay. Now we know that an Antichrist is coming, and I'm not sure if they're going to accept this coming Antichrist as their Messiah. Maybe they're just going to reject it, and then the Antichrist will just kill them all off. I don't know. But right now, though, they believe they must have a global chaos in every single country in order to bring their Messiah in. So that's why the global elite are shipping them to every country right now, so they can have their heyday and do all this crazy crap. All right. So they want, and while they're doing it, Rick, they're also protecting them on social media to make sure that their invasion and how they spread everywhere to get into position for this global chaos is unhindered. So that's why they're throwing people in prison that speak out against it in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so it's okay to be a Muslim man walking about the streets, stabbing people. That's okay. But if you say something about the religion or anything like that, you get thrown in prison right away. But isn't it that way in Sharia? Is that basically Sharia law in Muslim nations? You speak out against Islam, you get thrown in prison. and now they're speaking out against the migrants and they're throwing them in prison. Okay, so essentially the globalists are helping the Muslims take over the world right now. That's what's happening right now. They're not going to be the end all be all. The Muslims won't. They won't. They're just being used temporarily right now until the globalists get into a position where they need, and then they wipe out all the Muslims. And they have a way to do that. And Muslims are just a pawn. They'll all end up in hell. How horrible. You fighting for a cause, then you end up dying. You find out that you're on the wrong side the whole time.
We're definitely they would have put us away for our belief in Christ and our belief that we give the testimonial of the truth, and we say, I speak our mind of the goodness that we got in our hearts for the Lord. It is written on our hearts, folks, that Jesus died for my sins, and I'm going to be put away in jail because it's hatred. Hatred, no, folks, it's not hatred. It's love for your soul. So your soul will not end up going to hell. And even when I say that, people will say, well, that's hate speech. You're saying I'm going to burn in this fiery infernal for all eternity. That's hateful. That's painful. You're inflicting pain on my ears and my body just saying that.
Yeah, no, right now in Canada, that's what it is. In Quebec, if you step on a milk crate and you start preaching and you tell people that they kill Jews, that they kill Jesus Christ, and if you say things like you're going to perish in hell if you're not saved, they're going to cuff you and bring you out. It's in Canada right now. We're one step forward of United States.
It's a trial run.
Freedom of speech.
It's a test run, folks. They're doing this because it's a test run for the mark of the beast. When the mark of the beast gets enforced, folks, they've tested it to see how people comply. That's the whole thing behind this, folks. They said, let's try it out. Let's just make it against the law for this and this and see how people comply. If they do well, then we have a nice footprint out or a blueprint for this whole thing. So then when the mark of the beast gets issued, they know what they're working with. They said, look, all these people in this state, they comply. This state, they had a little bit of an uprise. Then we dealt with it. So now they have a little system they're working on. Folks, this is a trial run for the mark of the beast. When the Antichrist, it takes the right person to really enforce it globally. The Antichrist will be the one that does that. Okay, 3.5 years from now, if everything is on time like we think it is, 3.5 years from now, it will be against the law to even be seen with a Bible in your hand. Can you imagine carrying a Bible just to go get a quick bite to eat and you want to read it? They will snatch you right there off the spot, cuff you. You may be even shot in the head in the cell for just doing that. Folks, they're already doing stuff like that in country. I don't know which country it is. I don't want to be mean and have you say this on your channel because they'll probably attack this channel. But you know what I'm talking about. Go Google it, okay? They're doing this. And they had the guillotines in a warehouse, more than 1,000 of them. They ordered them. Folks, they're getting ready, folks, behind the scenes. And they're not telling you. Because it's all going to be rolled out on your doorstep. They're going to give you pamphlets in the mail saying this is the new law. Any religious things dealing with Jesus Christ will be an act of terrorism. They're gonna throw it in your face, folks, and you're gonna hate it. You're gonna have to comply with this. This will be the law. They're in the Antichrist reign because Satan now has full control. He's taken the power grab of this world, and he says the first thing he's gonna do away is all these YouTube channels like ours, Bob's, all of us. Shane Mine and Watchdog and so on. They're do away with all. They're going to use the chat GTP to do this. That's why AI is ramping up right now, so it'll be ready in time for this, folks.
That's good. It's good. It makes sense. Like there's so many programs coming down the pipes. Gemini, ChatGPT. There's so many of them coming out that every major organization is pushing AI, and it all seems to be around the fall. Make sure that door is locked. So when you see that being pushed, like there is a little bit of an agenda going on. Like it's actually crazy. And I thought perhaps, like I know, John, you mentioned, I didn't fully understand the numbering, what you meant by seeing 11. Is that like an association where you happen to coincidentally look and then you just see on the clock 11:11, or what are your thoughts there that maybe you can go a little bit deeper on here? So I didn't fully understand what you meant. Just the idea that it seems to be everywhere kind of thing. Is that what you're saying?
Me? Are we talking about me? Oh,
Yeah. Number 11.
That's why you said John. That's why you said
as I said, John.
Did I say John? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yes, you did.
I meant John. No.
He's not a Frenchman, is he?
John is into
Yeah.
7777777, but
1111s are mine all the time.
Yeah.
And yep, I still see it constantly. I always take snapshots of it when I saw it on Uptime tonight. It was 1 hour, 11 minutes, 11 seconds right when I looked at it lined up. So that's one of the way the Lord speaks to me about how soon the rapture resurrection is going to be. And I don't quite understand that whole thing even quite yet. All right. But I do know the number one is a number of unity, right? The Godhead, we are one in Christ. All right. So we will be one, completely one at the rapture resurrection. Our body, soul, and spirit will be in one accord for the first time. All right. So this one is a very important number. And then you got 11 representing chaos and disorder. And we got two 11s. All right. And I talked a little bit about that during Uptime as well. So a lot of great reasons why 1111 is a really, really great indicator. The amount of people that see it now. And it doesn't, I know a lot of people think it's kind of silly, and there's probably other bad applications that people talk about. They say it's an angel number. When you see the number 1111, that means whatever you were just thinking about was going to happen. So some crazy superstition stuff is also out too.
I was just curious about that because sometimes, when you buy a new car and all of a sudden you drive out because you're like, oh man, my car is the best. It's a unique color. And then all of a sudden you're aware now that it seems like everybody else has that same car. Unless you have a Lamborghini, of course. But I wonder, is that kind of all of a sudden that now that you're in tune with those numbers, that all of a sudden you see it in your Bible, you see, you know what I mean? Like you see it on the clock or whatever, coincidentally or whatever, but there's actually something lining up for you as well.
Well,
yeah, I believe there is. Absolutely.
When if you go Las Vegas, everybody has a Lamborghini.
Yes.
There's a lot of them.
It's true.
Shane.
It's true. Yes, sir.
Did you see the thumbnail I designed for my show?
The other night?
Yes.
Yes.
I want to just show everybody this and just simply really quick elaborate on this.
Let me put it up.
listeners.
Let me just put it up real quick here,
I have
brother.
a full thumbnail on my computer of it. Let me just see if I could do it here.
It's probably not as nice as this, though.
No, that's not it.
That's not it?
No, this is it.
No, that's Gary, I think, made that one.
This one looked like it was 14.
Okay, now, let me explain this real quick, folks, to you all.
I'll put it full screen.
I did this in Photoshop. I took and asked AI, create me an angel with his hands extended. This came up. No human being did this, all AI. Totally cool because AI, I believe, forces behind the scenes are manipulating the codes in the program of AI to create this image. This is a divine image probably sent from God, folks. I truly believe it. And then I asked it to create an atomic explosion, a very dramatic atomic explosion. It created that. Took both images, I layered them together. I brushed out his face and his wings to blend in. And this is exactly what I saw, folks, in my dream. I was standing right in front of him, that close to him, and he was holding back this explosion of fire. It was all like going against like a force field that's invisible, yet you can see the fire just plummeting against it. And he held it back. And, me and Bob thinks that this is the signal, a download from God that let us know that we are going to be snatched out of harm's way when this thing goes off soon. The rapture of the church. because they will gather us in time before this whole flame goes up. In other words, a nuclear war, folks, that will be diverted in time before. We know that this new president, the H woman, if she gets in there, it could be very dangerous for this world. They're going to hand off the briefcase to this woman, folks, and we got to trust her with it. All the power in the military is going to be handed over to her, and I'm trying to keep that fine line so I don't get your channel in trouble. Or
No, that's
Shane.
fine.
But
Hey, I have a question.
This, you know,
Yeah, there is couple mistakes in your background.
I'm gonna go ahead.
First,
Yeah.
the wings, the angels don't have wings. But if you look at the hands, it's Baphomet. It's
Well, that's
on the
AI.
side,
That's
on
I
the
didn't do
other
that.
side.
That's AI. I get it. AI did that. So
No,
AI's
but
not
there is
perfect.
The hands. Listen carefully, Rick. Okay, I just don't want to crash you there, but you got to understand the two hands is one on right and one on the left. It's like if you
I know.
would have, so one is flipped like the Baphomet. Okay, so you got to be careful there with this because this is not. You might have the tower in the back could look like the Tower of Babel. Yes, but the thing is, right now the hands are very, very. It hit me like a ton of brick.
Yeah.
And the wings and everything.
It's actually interesting that they're both
Well-
right hands, if you think about it.
No, it's one flip towards him and the other one
Yeah.
is towards us. So
Right.
it's like
Well-
Baphomet.
Yeah, I understand that, but I just told AI to do this. I was pressed for time, folks. I just said, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I used the image real quick. I didn't think about all the little details. It looked cool. I used
Yeah.
it, folks.
No, it
and
looks
I
cool.
get it. They don't have wings, but it's signified. It let us know that this was an angel. And I just threw it all up there, folks.
Yeah.
But not to disrespect God or anything like that, folks.
No.
Nothing's perfect anyways. Only God is, of course. Jesus and everything. So
So
I'm gonna turn that off.
you're saying basically that AI created an image that you talked about to show a little bit of
Yeah,
Armageddon in the background, that kind of
Right.
stuff, right?
Right. What I did is I said,
Okay.
AI, create me an angel holding his hands up. And it did it for me, folks. I did not have my hand in that image. So
Right.
just so you know, Watchdog, I asked AI to do it. AI is
Yeah.
the one that messed it
Yeah,
up,
but
not
still,
me.
if it's wrong, you shouldn't. I don't think you should show it. But
Well, I
Oh,
was
I did.
pressed for time. I just threw it
Yeah.
up there.
Not
Some other people
my
get
channel,
it, you know. It's just a
Yeah,
YouTube
it just
thumbnail.
shows you AI isn't. They still. It's like a little child, right? Sometimes when they draw something, like you
Now
don't
that I
want
know, now that I know that,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, if I knew that, I probably would have done something to correct
Yeah,
it. So
for sure.
I just now know that. Watchdog, thank you for pointing that out. So
Yeah, it's kind of like when you have a child and they draw something and they go outside the square. You don't want to yell at them right out of the gate and say, "Hey." So AI is kind of like a child that's unbridged. They just kind of create whatever. And I've seen crazy stuff, man. You'd be shocked if a hand grew out of the person's head, and AI has no idea. They're just like, seems to make sense to me to put a hand in the head or maybe out of the elbow. Like
I've
it's
seen
just,
the
it's a
mistakes
program.
AI makes. AI is
Yeah.
not perfect, but I believe
No.
AI will be used, but Satan will have the advantage in the last days because we know AI is going to play a huge role in the
Sure.
system. The beast system and all that, the image of the beast that will speak. AI will have they'll have full control. We know
For
that
sure.
Satan and his demons they're already getting into
They're getting
control of
closer
AI.
for sure. They are.
Scary
They're getting really
doesn't
close.
scare me. We won't be here
Chat
for that.
ChatGPT is still a little ways away because it's kind of stupido, if you will. 60% of the time it gets things wrong, and when it comes to the Bible, I could run circles on ChatGPT all day
Yeah.
long. It's nowhere near. It's nowhere near. It's just like making mistakes.
Mind
List
games
all the
that they can
judges.
play.
Oh, Samson's not there. Samson's kind of a big deal in the West. We make movies about Samson. Why didn't you put Samson in? I'm sorry, Shane. I just made a mistake. Yeah, that's because you're dumb. I can
Yeah,
say
we
that
haven't
as
told-
ChatGPT.
We haven't programmed you yet enough.
Yeah,
for it.
exactly.
We haven't put our knowledge into you yet.
Exactly.
Computer.
Yeah. And
Well,
the
the devil
Nephilim
Computer.
hasn't been injected with Nephilim juice yet.
The demons and the demons they can get involved into our system by infiltrating the electronics They have that power to do. We know that. So it wouldn't be surprised if ChatGPT is going to get smarter, more clever, and the demons now say we have a way in, folks. We can now do things with something to mess with the minds of the world, and that's their way in, folks. Other than CERN, okay. And of course, we know that Satan and God, during that time, ultimately portals will open up everywhere. We know how that goes. So keep an eye out. ChatGPT. I would not be the reason why it's accelerating so fast because you got so many people putting input into it. But I think also that dark forces are behind it, working behind the scenes. We're
very getting closer,
crazy.
For sure.
Absolutely. But we're definitely getting closer. That's for sure. And we have a timeline here that this upcoming November 5th, our elections, man. The nation that essentially regulates the earth is having an election. So how interesting, how convenient that is that's happening this year. And if it was happening for another 2 more years, you would know, okay, well, these are the people who are in charge for the next 2 years. But no, we have a power changeover coming here right about the same time the tribulation is about to begin. That's what we have. Supposedly the tribulation is about to begin. And right now, the Democrats, they're not running right now to win. They're just running right now. They are running right now to create enough chaos. So that way, if they get enough chaos in the streets by ticking off enough people and also, signaling all of their terror cells to start chaos throughout the world, throughout the country, to bring in UN peacekeepers, guess what? Now we have martial law and suspended the elections. They don't have they know they can't beat Trump, and they can't beat him legally, and they know they can't cheat enough to beat him either this time.
So do you think that's on a scale of 1 to 100, where are you looking at when you think about martial law coming in November, or even before, just after, whatever? Let's just say in the next 6 months or so. What do you think percentage wise? Are we saying less than 50% or greater than, or what do you think?
I'm saying a solid 75%.
Okay.
Because if you look at all the trucks that are moving around right now, they're moving that new snake bite around, and they're not going to be able to enforce it on people unless they have a military here that's not American military.
Yeah.
So they're going to go door to door and make sure you're up to date on your snake bites. Okay,
you
haven't had one yet? We got to put like 20 of them in you. We haven't
what do you think, Rick? Martial law, what do you think? 1 to 100%?
We know
Just
that they're immobilizing. 1 to 75%. I'm in agreement with Bob on that around there, okay. And I believe that the Chinese troops will be used. They're positioning themselves. I believe up near Canada. I think you've probably seen them. They're being talked about being training up there. They're going to need all the help they are, because when this thing hits, the rapture comes. That 1 second after the rapture, it's going to be instant chaos. They're going to need all the help they can get to keep this America under control, because everybody's going to panic and think it's the end of the world. They're going to be looting, rioting, stealing, especially stealing, because there'll be no cops. The 911 will be exhausted within the first couple of minutes.
What kind of juice is that there, Bob?
This is sparkling.
It's not Nephilim juice, is it?
Water, no. Cherry lemonade is a
nice.
Nephilim juice.
What do you think, Watchdog? 1 to 100%. Martial law.
Oh, it's coming. That's for sure.
So maybe
right now on
years.
Voice there, a lot of things are going on, and the last video that came out was about Bill Gates, that is going to bring the full speed of that new thing coming up in October before the election. So
isn't it interesting?
If something goes on like this,
isn't it interesting that one of my first videos that I did on this channel was when Russia invaded Ukraine, and I said way back when, go watch my earlier videos whenever I talked about Ukraine. I said Zelensky is not going to relinquish martial law. He started it within a few weeks of the war starting, and there was an election after the war started. There was going to be an election the next year, which actually, sorry, was this year in March. The last weekend of March was supposed to be an election, and Zelensky is allowed by law every 90 days to renew it. And that's what he just keeps doing. It's martial law every single day. So if you're in Ukraine, you're only allowed one media outlet, which they feed. And this is Ukraine. This is supposed to be democratic, but they feed one media, which the Zelensky's political party is actually his media company, his personal own incorporation incorporated into that. And there's martial law. So don't think that couldn't happen here in the U.S. or over where you guys are. In Canada, we just used the Emergencies Act, and Trudeau showed us how easy it was able for him to do that last year, when we had really all we had was a bunch of truckers in Ottawa, and it was done, just like that. It was done, and then like that. So it could happen in the United States of America. And I was talking about this 8 months ago, saying, I'm not so sure that you guys are going to have an election. And a lot of people are like, no, they must. This is part of our right as an American citizen to have an election. I get it. But there's a little loophole that if martial law is in place, there is no election.
Yeah, well, if the hairy monkey
you guys
comes
are
against
running
us,
out of
the hairy monkey comes and tries to mess with the United. You know, they're getting these cases everywhere, and I'm hearing they're exploding in some areas. Folks, if it's going to happen again, that alone could declare martial law, because people ain't going to put up with it this time around. They said it happened in 2020. They said, well, we ain't letting this happen again. A lot of businesses ain't going to want to close down again, and they're going to be met with resistance, and then they're going to declare martial law. I believe this time around, if they do the whole lockdown thing again globally, this time it will be met with a huge resistance. People are not going to fall over and go for that scenario, especially being around election time again. People ain't stupid, folks. They'll see it, and they'll be really pissed off about it. I've been hearing about it on the YouTube that people ain't just going to fall over for this again. And that alone could trigger a martial law. That means you want to talk about martial law coming early, it will. And then elections, it can cause the elections, is everything will be going off, chaos everywhere because of this whole lockdown thing. I said, well, there you go. The elections have been canceled. And guess who? Biden is at the beach right now sipping on tea or eating an ice cream. And Kamala is in the White House. They're propping her already in there because she's already going to be our president, folks. They're already giving her experience. They said, look, we're going to just put you in there, just start doing your thing, okay? You're seeing her everywhere, folks, because they're already propping her up to positioning her to be president. When a crisis happens, guess what? Biden's not around right now. Kamala, now you take over. I'm going on vacation. I don't want to be around during this crisis. Guess what? My fellow Americans, can you imagine her saying that? And it hasn't even, the elections haven't happened because they had to cancel them. This is a scenario that I see coming.
Yeah, they can't. They can't beat them. They can't beat them, and they cannot cheat enough now to beat them. Yeah. So the only answer they have left is to put a. Oh, did I lose you guys?
I thought the screen blank. I thought this thing was crashing.
Yeah,
it's black.
So the only thing they have.
He has black screens.
Mm-hmm. So the only thing they have now is to bring in martial law, but there has to be enough chaos in this country in order to do it. And I think they have a way to do that. So if that happens, they declare martial law, then the Democrats, Kamala Harris can just declare it, and then she's like, "Well, we'll just stay here until I say so." So that could be 50 days, that could be 50 years.
Yeah,
that's retarded. I really don't like that provision in the Constitution because that could be abused. You know,
well, they have it all figured out, Bob. They said we got it figured out. We'll Biden just go on vacation. Kamala will just take over, and the crisis will happen. The hairy monkey, all the little red spots on that map. That's where that hairy monkey was spotted at. Oh, there he is. And guess what? Everybody's scared. They lock it all down again. People go crazy because they, hey, we ain't going through this again. And guess what, guys? We have to cancel the elections this year because we have a crisis now on our hands. Kamala, you're the president. What are we going to do? Well, I don't know what I'm going to do, but hey. Yeah. Imagine.
I like that sound effect. That's good. Have you guys ever seen this channel?
Bill.
Have you ever seen Delphi?
Nope.
Delphi is basically, it's a channel where you're actually allowed to clone yourself. I showed this to my crowd a little while ago, but let's say, for example, you wanted to ask this guy, Brendan Burchard, 3-time New York best-selling author. We can actually make a phone call to him right now. We can call him, and we can have a conversation with him and ask him some questions about whatever. So let's
Hey, it's Brendan Burchard AI. What's on your mind today? What do you want to improve or learn?
Hey, how you doing? I want to write a book about end times. Could you help me out?
Writing a book about end times is a profound and ambitious project. It's a topic that can captivate readers' imaginations and provoke deep thought. To start, focus on clarifying your message.
Hang on one second. Hang on, Brendan. Hang on. Calm down, Brendan. How about aliens? Can you inject aliens into my end time book?
Absolutely. Injecting aliens into your end times book could add a unique twist and captivate readers. To make this work, think about how aliens fit into your narrative. Are they the cause of the end times, or are they arriving to save humanity? Consider the emotional and psychological impact. How do you want your readers to feel about the aliens?
Well,
fearful.
Hang on. Stop cutting me off, Brendan. Stop cutting me off here.
Got it, Shane.
I need you to say sorry to me. Can you apologize to me?
What's wrong with him? He's like
Shane,
some kind
I
of
apologize
weird
if I've made you
seizures.
feel interrupted or disrespected.
Thank
that was
you.
never my intention.
Wow,
Thank you. I
that's so
appreciate
cool.
that. All right.
I want to
Anyways.
check that out tonight. I want to interview some people on there and see if Satan and his demons intervene. I'm going to ask some really good questions. I'm going to say, look, guys, did you see how he was reacting? Like he was possessed by some demon.
Well, they spent a lot of money on cloning this character because you can actually do that.
I am blown
tomorrow
away by that demonstration.
You could spend like,
Wow.
I forget how much. I think it's like $3,000 US. And basically what they do is they go to your YouTube channel and they extract everything from your channel. In case of Brendan, what they did is they extracted all 2 of his books, and then they watched a bunch of talks and presentations that he gave so that it can learn a little bit more about him. And now when you're asking, I'm telling you, after about 30 minutes of talking to him, you're going to feel like you're talking to the real deal. You're going to get used to it. Imagine The Rock. Imagine Barack Obama. Imagine your friend Oprah, Rick. Imagine that, talking to her one-on-one, asking her what her favorite book was. Like,
I'm
it's
better off
crazy.
talking to myself.
Crazy.
I don't think I'd talk to those creepy things, man. I'm sorry.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, I'll tell
It
you,
is.
that's
We're
image
close.
of the beast territory right
Yeah,
there.
we're
image
very
will
close.
speak. The
Yes.
image was given the ability to speak. Alien,
Yes.
that alien technology, it's ChatGPT. It's gonna be. They're running the tests already, folks. You just saw it right there. That's
So
that's gonna
imagine-
be AI controlled by demons, and
Yeah.
Satan will speak through this image, saying, "Ask me anything," and they'll
Yeah.
brainwash you with this thing.
Yeah, so imagine for a second, like somebody mentioned this in here, that let's say you don't toe the line and they deep fake you or create a clone like this because maybe you're sick or whatever, and then your clone shows up on your channel and it's saying things that you're like, I never said that.
Oh yeah.
Apparently you did.
Yeah,
Apparently
Rick,
you
we
did.
saw you, man. No,
Yep,
that
we
was
saw
a
you.
clone. They
You
stuck
couldn't
it in
prove
there.
it. You wouldn't
YouTube
be able
is
to
a new
prove it.
feature. Your clone will take over your channel while you're sick.
Yeah.
Really?
Exactly.
No.
What's that? Yeah, and now you have to have a badge that says that you are a clone. So imagine people getting used to that badge showing up on your YouTube channel to say this is a clone.
I'm opt
Then
out of
you
that,
remove the badge. How would you know? Because all you would do is you'd look, oh, there's no badge, so that means this must be truth. but it's actually a clone.
That would ruin
You
your
would never
channel.
know. You would never know.
All right, I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
say good night. It's 1 o'clock for me. It's,
Okay, no
Yeah.
problem.
Okay.
Bonjour, mon ami. I mean,
Bonjour, mon ami.
c'est la vie. I mean, no.
Nice to
Au
see you,
revoir.
Watchdog.
Au revoir.
Y'all have a good evening.
God bless you,
Bye.
man.
Take care,
I'll be
brother.
in. I'll be in touch, Watchdog.
Yes.
Bye,
Yes,
buddy.
we'll be in touch.
Okay,
Take care.
awesome. And
Yeah, I
then there's
gotta
me.
fly too because
Okay.
it's 10:30 here. I'm tired, man.
Yeah, no problem.
I've
You
been-
guys
I've-
worked
I've
hard
been
on
busy
Uptime.
all day.
All right, guys.
Yeah, no, for
this
sure.
is awesome. That we
That
have
was
a
a
after
great-
show. Pretty cool, guys.
That was a cool demonstration, though.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Shane.
Where
That
where
was
do you
a
go
weird
to check that out?
That's Delphi clones.
Delphi clones. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's,
Wow.
I'm telling you.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
I
scared.
know, I
I'm
know.
scared to even go to the website. It might clone me just looking at me. It might say,
Yeah.
"Hey,
No, you
there's
gotta
me,
pay a
guys."
You got to pay a bunch of money for it, but we're closer. Imagine paying $100 to do that.
I wouldn't pay a dime to them. I'm not supporting.
There are
that
people that
image of the
would,
beast
though.
garbage.
That's the crazy part. There are people that will
right.
do that tomorrow. But anyways, thank you guys for being on here. Really appreciate you guys.
Thank you,
Have a
Shane,
good
for having me
night.
on.
Yeah, we'll do it again. Thanks a lot. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks for
God
having us
bless
on,
you,
brother.
man. Take care.
Awesome.
God bless everybody. Take care.
See you later. All right.
Take care,
Awesome.
Shane.
Yeah, you too, brother.
Yeah,
Thanks
man.
for coming on.
Thank you, buddy.
Awesome. Okay, now that they're gone, just kidding. But that was good. That was good to have them on. Yeah, 2 shows back to back. This is something unique. I don't know. We were talking about it on Uptime because we would have comments where people were like, can't we just stay on just a little bit longer? And then I mentioned it to Greg and Bob. I'm like, why don't we just do like overtime or something like that? And then I thought, you know what? I'll just throw it on and I'll time it so it starts just right about 8:30. And then we can have them pop over and just kind of chat about whatever you want. Just make it real casual. It doesn't have to be really formal. We don't have a procedure or anything. And we can kind of focus on, on the people in the audience and all that kind of stuff. So hope you guys, if you like this kind of thing, give a thumbs up because that shows YouTube that you guys like this type of content, and then it'll be shown to more people. And make sure when you're done to double check. I used to say make sure and subscribe and click the thumbs up and all this, but this time I say make sure that you're not unsubscribed to my channel because YouTube's little spiders go all over people's YouTube channels and they will unsubscribe people randomly, and you may not even be aware. You just be like, how come I'm not getting any more notifications from Black Swan? And then you click on it and then you realize that you're unsubscribed. I know because my mom was actually unsubscribed by YouTube, and my mom is like my biggest fan. So she was paying attention to it and she had to resubscribe to my channel. So if it can happen to her, it can happen to you, and it can happen to you on other people's channels as well, like maybe Uptime or Rick's channel or Not So Random. Just double check their channels every once in a while. Make sure that you're still subscribed. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. You guys are fantastic. I'm going to give you a little bit of music to go out, and appreciate you guys a lot. Have a good night. All right, let's have a little bit more fun with these clones, shall we? I was gonna say clowns, but clones. It's kind of interesting. I know I've actually reached out to this guy, Joe Polish. What does he do here? Let's have a look here. Let's have a look at this guy. It's quite expensive to get a clone. I don't think I do it. I think we're already.
Hey, it's Joe Polish. What's on your mind today?
Hey, how you doing, Joe? How's your week been?
Hey, Shane. My week's been a whirlwind, but in a good way. Lots of exciting projects and some great conversations with brilliant minds. How about you? What's the latest with your podcast and those guest appearances we talked about?
Wow, you remember from the last time I was on? I'm not even logged in.
Of course, Shane, I make it a point to remember the important stuff.
Whoa.
So, how's it going with those guest appearances and refining your pitch? Any luck with Gino Wickman?
Wow, that is scary. I was just talking about that to my audience. I'm trying to actually get him as an interview on my other channel, but you're freaking me out right now with this. I know it's not really you, but how much does it cost for the real Joe Polish to clone himself? How much did that cost him, do you think?
I'm curious to hear how things. Sorry, I'm not sure about that one. Let's get back to something more relevant.
No, I
How's your
am. Hey,
progress
whoa,
with-
whoa, whoa. Slow down. I'm in charge here.
All right, Shane, you got it. You're in charge. Let's
Okay.
get back to what matters.
Okay, what matters is if I were an alien, what kind of a workout program would you recommend?
All right, Shane, let's cut to the chase. You want a workout program that's going to kick your ass and get you results. High intensity interval training is where it's at. Short bursts of intense exercise.
All right, whoa, whoa, whoa. Slow down, Joe. Hey, sis, how you doing?
I just started here.
That's so funny. This guy's just Joe's just cussing up a storm, man. Like, holy catfish. Wow. Guy's crazy. Like, they remember. I didn't even log in. And he remembers the last time I asked him a question about a book. And he brings it up. He's like, so how's that book coming along in those interviews? I'm like, whoa, hang on, time out here. This is a different audience right now. We're a Black Swan here. Stop it. You're exposing me.
Called facial recognition.
Yep. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, it's it's interesting with ChatGPT. In case you guys are wondering, this is my lovely sister Amy. Welcome, Amy. Thank you for coming on tonight. This is just kind of random. We call this Black Swan Overtime, so thank you. How was your night?
It's good. And then I come jump in and nobody's here. Where did everybody go? Like
I
there.
I know. They just left. Elvis has just left the building, but that's okay. This is why we come to overtime, because you never know. I faked everyone out. I'm like, okay, see you guys. Have a good night. And then I come back and do a little bit of an encore, talk a little bit about clones, whatever. And then you show up. This is magnificent. Mm-hmm. So have you been, what do you think about this clone stuff? Is that kind of creepy, weird, or what?
I mean, they've probably been doing it for a long time now. We're just
like
getting
Joe Biden, you think, is a clone?
potentially.
Hey, what do you got on? What do you got on?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Look at that. She's got some Black Swan swag. That's my sister. I need to get some. I got to get some. If you guys want some Black Swan swag, just Heatwave 20 and just go to my store. It's in the description. So where you just click on the tabs, you'll see store. Just buy a whole bunch of stuff. That'd be great. Buy a whole bunch. Have Black Swan swag everywhere. But that looks nice. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for doing that.
Hey, I have to bring up something. I was traveling and I went down into the US.
Oh, yes.
And
California.
Yeah, and Seattle. I was in Washington as well.
Nice.
Did a lot of praying every area that I went into. But you know what was interesting?
Where's your do you have a mug? Or
no,
not tonight?
Not
it's too late. Okay, fair enough. Okay, continue.
Too late for coffee, but I guess I could have used it. But when I was going, because I took like 6 different flights because I was going all over the place, and one of the flights They just basically had to stand in front, like before I boarded the plane, I just had to stand in front of this camera. They took my picture and they're like, and they snapped it. And I was kind of like looking down like this and then I saw the picture. So it wasn't even a full picture of my face because I saw it snap and and they're like, okay, beep, instantly, you're good, go. And I'm like, do you not need my passport? Do you not need my boarding?
What?
They're like, no.
No way. Facial recognition now?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Like, are you
You're
sure?
not
Like,
going to be able
my
to go
passport,
anywhere.
you don't need to scan my ticket. They're like, no,
What?
nothing, Shane.
This is in China. Is that where you went? China?
Yeah.
This is here in America.
It was actually, yeah.
Okay, so you're boarding and you're already shown your ticket probably somewhere, right? Or no?
Because this
like
is
your boarding pass, nothing, just on the plane, boom.
well, I scanned it initially before you go into security.
Right, but after
No, I just went to the gate.
Yep.
And before I got on the plane, they just took a snapshot of my face.
Yep.
And yeah, I didn't have to scan my ticket or show my boarding pass or my passport.
Wow.
Plane.
But you do understand it's for your safety, right? Wink, 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 wink. It's for your safety to take your pic, to just scan. They're cloning us already. I know they are, because when the rapture happens, all you have to do is have me on the channel, and how are you going to know that it's not me? And then just phase us out a little bit at a time and just say we got sick from Nephilim juice or whatever it is, and just one at a time, one channel at a time. Meanwhile, the clones are looking so realistic. It wouldn't be hard. This is all I do right here in front of my bookshelf. Like, I'm right here. I rarely do I go all over the place. How hard do you think it would be to clone this whole background and myself, and then talk about stuff, and then make me say something that I would regret on YouTube and get canceled? It wouldn't be difficult.
Yeah,
I already get close to it.
I'm gonna pause that. I'm gonna go back to this ticket thing because I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, because it's like, how just from my face did they recognize that it's my passport? Okay,
That's kind of
the fact that I have a ticket to board that plane.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, right? Because like my face doesn't tell them my passport number, but it would scan it to reflect my passport number. And I told you, I took 6 different flights this whole trip. So, and that's there, back, and then all over the place, right? So it's interesting. Like, it was I was like, I stood there and like, what?
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
How can you tell we're siblings? No, it's getting scarier, man. It's getting scarier with the cloning stuff. I'm like, why are they pushing it? Like, it's looking so realistic that if you blink, you might miss it if you're not looking for it. Like, Joe Biden's getting taller and taller all the time. Like, I think he's like 6 feet tall or 6'2". Like, it seems like you're growing, Joe, and your posture is getting better. And how he spoke on the last night of the Democrat, I watched that speech and I'm like, this guy is not making hardly any mistakes, and he's angry and he's doing all this. How do I do this? Like this? Where's the explosions? I'm waiting for it. Maybe it doesn't show up. There's a way to make it fireworks. Gary Gates knows how to do this stuff. Yeah, there's a way to make balloons show up. Maybe it's like this.
No,
I don't know. Is that it?
No,
remember Jim Carrey when he did that? I was like, what are you doing, Jim? And then all of a sudden everybody's like, he's exposing those people on a live talk show. I'm probably going to get people now. They'll just take this one picture of me doing that, and they'll be like, see, this guy is part of the Illuminati. He's a billionaire. He's a secret billionaire. Perhaps. I'm going to be found out that I'm actually a secret billionaire. You know?
Yeah. Well, hopefully.
Hey, our brother's on here tonight. Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
It's up to those in the crowd to know who he is, but my brother is watching right now. Big brother is watching me. He's actually my little brother, but I think he's bigger than me, isn't he? He's taller than me. He's like 6'4". I'm the runt of the family, by the way.
No,
My
I'm
brothers
sure.
are bigger than me.
Yeah,
What's
your
that?
brother. But at the family reunion, we took a picture, and we're all very.
No, it felt like we were in the land of giants.
Yeah,
like
and
really.
then one of our other sisters, because we have a group chat, and one of our other sisters wasn't able to be there, and she's told. And what is she called? Is this the rugby team?
This is the rugby team. I was gonna say, is this Team Shrek? Because we were just, our heads are like this, just so big in the picture, and we're just like giants compared to everyone else. So bad.
Yeah, we're
So bad.
Pretty. He was at your guys' heels too. Pretty tall, standing.
No, the Olympic winners put their medals over their eye. No way, Jose. Are you kidding me? That is crazy. See, that's the stuff like, okay, I'm joking, but there are people like that they're not joking.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just see Olympics. Medals over eye. Let's see. Are they doing that? Let's have a look here and see. This is always dangerous because you never know what kind of pics are going to show up when you type in Olympics, right? All right, let's see here. Let's see. This guy's biting. Oh, yeah, right here. Of course it would be him. Oh, my goodness. Really? The guy that beat a woman puts that over his left eye? If that doesn't speak about end times and all this kind of stuff, it's, yeah, I don't know. That's so demonic. It's not even funny. That's not even funny. Out of all the people in the Olympics, you get the guy that's beating the tar out of a woman holding this medal up over his left eye. And I think there's somewhere in Daniel that talks about something, or somewhere about an eye related to the Antichrist as well. So that could be some kind of a sign in the future where maybe the Antichrist has an eye gouged out. Don't know. It's kind of weird stuff. I didn't see that before. So thanks, Pamelina, for bringing that up. That's kind of horrible.
Zechariah?
Yeah, I can't remember, but there's somewhere about an eye being removed or something. I can't remember where it is. But anyways.
Zechariah 11:17.
What does that say? You want me to bring it up?
Zechariah 11:17. Let's leave it.
And then I got to go too pretty soon. I'm getting a little wiped myself. What's Zechariah 11:17 say? You got it?
It's pausing right now.
Okay, let me try. Zechariah 11:17. You got it?
No, I don't have. Yeah.
Let me see if I can bring it up.
I don't have Starlink. So.
What's that?
I got weak internet where I'm at times.
Oh, yeah, no. Probably Elon Musk's satellites are just having a tough time getting through. 11:17, did we say? Yeah.
Yeah. Zechariah
17. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, this is weird stuff, man. We're going deep tonight, sister. You just got on here and we're just uncovering something. This is crazy. Look at this. Check this out. Look at this. 17. Woe to the idle shepherd that leaveth the flock. The sword shall be upon his arm and upon his right eye. His arm shall be clean dried up, and his right eye shall be utterly darkened. Ooh, that doesn't spell Antichrist. I don't know what does. That's kind of weird, man. Isn't it?
Yeah, because like if I just leave it like New King James because I like that as well too. It's a little bit easier to read. But for indeed I will raise up a shepherd in the land who will not care for those who are cut off, nor seek the young, nor heal those that are broken, nor feed those that stand still. But he will eat the flesh of the fat and tear their hooves in pieces. Woe to the worthless shepherd who leaves the flock. A sword shall be against his arm and against his right eye. His arm shall completely wither and his right eye shall be totally blinded. That's interesting.
This is weird. Now, I think this guy is a good guy, Dan Crenshaw, but it's kind of interesting that you have a senator in the U.S. that has, I think he got hit by an IUD, I believe, and that's how he lost his eye. But he has a, what's in his eye patch? There's something crazy in it. I forget about it. Let's see here. What's this guy? I'll just type this in. Dan Crenshaw. Oops. Shaw eye patch. He did something. Image. I don't know. Where is it? He put something in it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, it's in his eye. That's what it is. Navy SEAL. That's what it was. He's got a glass eye. I don't know if you could see this here. I don't know if it'll show this here. No. Okay. That was crazy there. Let's see. Glass eye.
Or something?
What's that?
It's word.
It's a Navy SEAL kind of a thing that he put in his eye. That's not it. It's a Captain. That's a Captain America eye, but that's not what I'm talking about. It's a Navy SEAL. Let's see. Navy SEAL. Something like that. Where is it? I saw it somewhere. It looks really weird. Where did it go? Yeah, look at this. And then other celebrities are now starting to do the patch thing, which is kind of interesting. Again, I'm not trying to say Senator is an evil guy or whatever. I'm just saying that it's interesting that the patch that he has. Yeah, what is this?
Oh yeah, Trident. It's a Trident.
Yeah, Trident. That's what it is. A Navy SEAL Trident.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Navy SEAL Trident. Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Where is it? How come I can't find it? Oh yeah, I think it's this right here. This is it. This is what he has in his eye. Had to get an x-ray the other day and they see how they bait you. But that's his eye. Anyways, that's just kind of this is kind of the bunny trails that my sister and I go on every once in a while. You get to experience that firsthand. But yeah, so he has a bit of a trident, whatever. That probably has nothing to do with end time stuff, but just kind of curious. You know, I don't think he's running for president anytime soon, but wouldn't that be weird if he did decide to run as president and then all of a sudden he's got this one-eyed patch? I would run for the hills. I would run for the hills because of Zechariah 11:17. But again, a lot of people say that the United States has nothing to do with end times. They're not even mentioned in the end times. Like it doesn't say United States of America. But I would caution you on that because it also doesn't say the word Bible and it doesn't say the word English in my Bible either. Nor does it say rapture. So the idea that United States of America is not mentioned kind of goes away with that theory because we don't know. Could be the Isles of the Gentiles for all we know. All the way back to Genesis. Anyways. I'm done. I'm almost done.
You put the garbages out when you're done.
Yep, I'll put the garbage out. My wife's like, what are you talking about? Eye patches and tridents and everything. Because we're going conspiracy on this channel here. We got to whisper. Let's whisper. Let's keep our voices down. I got to take the garbage out for tomorrow. But yeah, it's I kind of forget that I have a grandbaby also in the next room. And sometimes I get excited. And then the grandbaby wakes up. So I don't want to do that. I got to whisper. Whisper. Anyways. Kick her now. She's... That's funny. All right. So, all right. What are you thinking there, Amy? What's going through your head right now?
Nothing. I was just kind of thinking, Sandy. It's like got you on guard.
You know, I can't tell you how many times I'm running out chasing after the garbage guy. Like it happens so fast every week. I'm literally chasing him down the street. Wait, don't do it. Anyways, Wednesday, gotta remember Wednesday, garbage day. What are you looking at right now? I can't see what you're looking at. Whoa.
Oh, I was just seeing what some comments here.
Oh. Hey, I know how to make you a moderator now.
So I can bump
After all
people.
this. Yeah. So here, text a comment on, I think I got to do it on my phone. Can you say a comment? Can you text, or you're not on your phone right now?
I am on my phone.
What's that? Oh, you are? Okay. Anyways, I could do it. So what I do sometimes, if I'm watching Uptime, I'll watch Uptime on my phone, and then I can comment there instead of going onto my computer, because I like watching Uptime on my TV set. Anyways. All right. So, busy day tomorrow?
Yeah. Did monkeypox actually affect from the mRNA jab?
I know. And some of those words we've invented a new word. We call it Rafiki, I think, from that monkey from The Lion King. So whenever we refer to monkeypox, we say Rafiki so that my channel doesn't get closed.
Okay.
Because you can't, apparently CNN and every other channel can talk about Rafiki, but if I do it, it's like, oh, what are you doing? You making fun of it? No, I never make fun of anything. I'm serious all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, it's kind of crazy.
I'm interested to hear if any of the commenters are watching, any of the audience has actually come across anybody that has been infected.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
It'd be an interesting poll to do.
Yeah.
Bobo pox, I like that one. Clown pox. Yeah, I don't know of anyone. That's not to say it couldn't happen, but I'm hearing rumors that it's the side effects from people having some Nephilim juice injections earlier. Have you heard that? I coded it so that YouTube doesn't know what I'm talking about. I heard people took some Nephilim juice. Sign language. This is my sign language. And then turn into monkeypox. It's code. Nobody's going to pick up on the code that I have. Like nobody. Oh, my brother's texting me now here. What's he got to say? Who is this? Okay. I got to check somebody out on here on the channel.
I think you need to because I'm not a moderator, so I think you need to
kick who? Who am I kicking out? Okay, I don't know who you want me to kick out. I don't mind kicking somebody out, but who's the one? Is it She Locks Chickens? Okay, here. I think. Let's see. I hope I got the right one. Is that the right one? I might have accidentally punted, maybe. Okay, I think that was the one that was crazy on here tonight. So I just punted Barb off of here. If I accidentally punted you, Barb, no offense, but people were starting to say, kick her out. All right, anyone else? I'm in a punting mood. Yeah, so all right. So we're back. I think it was Barb. I think I punted Barb because people are saying she's being crazy. Oh, I see. Okay, could have been Barb. Yep. Thank you. Come again. Exactly. Okay. Yeah, my brother was mentioning that, so it's good. I should make my brother a moderator. He could just punt people left, right, and center. Speaking of punting, when is Crystal going to make up some more of these fancy mugs, do you think? How hard would it be to get her? Because I'm having more interest again.
So
your mic is on. What? Sorry?
I think she's watching right now.
Is she? Okay. Yeah. Crystal, you should make some more mugs. We can charge, I think $1,000 a mug is fair. I think. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Amy?
No.
It's not fair. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, no worries, Pambolina. You're still on the payroll. It's fine if you missed it. That's okay. I just appreciate you wanting to moderate on this crazy channel, because sometimes I think you need to punt me off the channel for some of the crazy things I say.
This gal was, she didn't like me very much, but it's probably her little demon that torments. That was right.
That's awesome. It's probably the demon in her. Yeah, that's funny.
So I cast that out.
Nice.
That stuff.
I knew you're being serious. We have a little thing. Sometimes my uncle even watches where if we say something serious, can I say this one thing? Basically, if we say something like, I'm going to run for the president of the United States, and then we do this. And we just go off and we stare off at the distance. That's my side of the family does that. They're crazy. Uncle Lori, Uncle Jim, Uncle Jeff, everybody does that. They're like, I'm going to be a multi-millionaire. And they stare, right? That's like their punchline or something. Anyways, go on.
I think I saw Shay or Dustin, our brother, wrote something.
Yeah.
He thinks it was Crystal.
Oh, that would be funny. That'd be bad. I don't think so, because I had someone else that I thought was Crystal on there. But that is funny. That could be funny. I can unban her. That'd be funny if she's actually using an alias to be my sister.
Yeah, she would do that.
She would do that. So isn't that funny? Anyways, I'm telling you, you guys think that I'm normal. I'm not normal. I'm not normal. Look at my siblings. They're crazy, man. My siblings are crazy. All of them. All right. So thank you guys for coming on here tonight. This is Overtime. We always get a surprise guest from time to time. And we just try and tie it in a little bit with Uptime has a show for a couple of hours. And then every once in a while, I go on there as well. But I created this thing called Uptime or Overtime. And the idea is we just invite some of the people over. And this is kind of like an after party. We just have a big party here, just kind of random. We really don't go too deep. We talk about clones, Nephilim, tridents, all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah. So, anyways.
Earlier, you guys touched base on a lot of things.
Oh yeah, we covered a lot of terrain today. A lot of terrain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the thing that stuck out to you the most?
Pardon me?
What was the one thing that stuck out to you the most?
When I think Lee Brainerd was on there, and I forget the other guy's name. I never met the other guy before, but they're talking about the elders and different things in heaven, and thus signifying that there's actually people living in heaven before the seals get broken open, which is kind of interesting when you think about it, that you have humans in heavenly bodies in heaven before the action begins.
Yeah.
There's actually people living in heaven. There's still Christians today that think that when we die, we stay in the ground. Like we're just there, dormant.
Oh, so
meanwhile, yeah. Go ahead. What?
Oh, I missed that part.
Yeah.
So what were they? That's interesting.
Yeah, they were talking about it's kind of neat that there's people there kind of before or during the rapture, but there is definitely people there. And I've been saying for months on this channel that the resurrection started when Jesus Christ rose from the dead. He is the first fruits, because you got Elias, or you got Elijah and Moses showing up on the mountain of transfiguration.
Interesting.
And they're having a conversation with Jesus Christ before he died, and they're talking to him about his decease. So they're like, hey, bro, you still on time? Still on time? Like, and Peter's like, this is a good time, Lord, to build 3 tabernacles, one for you, one for Moses, one for Elijah. And then a cloud comes descending down, and this is my son, listen to him. And Peter's like, whoa, I've just been cut off by God Almighty. But there's people there. That's the whole point. Elijah and Moses were talking to Jesus Christ, and we just kind of skip over that in Luke. Yeah. Just skip over it, and they come down the hill, and it's like, hey, how come our disciples couldn't heal this guy? Oh, it's because of you didn't fast, and only this kind could come. Like, we just flip through the Bible, like, blah, 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 blah. Let's get to some meat. Let's get to something here, and we miss Moses and Elijah was talking to Jesus Christ before he died on the cross, and they're talking about when he's going to die on the cross. So they're having a conversation with Jesus Christ. And there's people living in heaven right now. How do we know this? Well, John, 2,000 years ago, had a vision, and I believe he was actually transported in time into the Lord's day, the day of the Lord, that day, so that he could see everything and write everything down. Got transported. That's the only way that I could picture it, because he's not just thinking in his head, what would be a good image for things coming out of the ground? I'm going to use locusts. Locusts would be good. No, he's seeing things that look like locusts with wings and all kinds, and it has hair like a woman, teeth like fangs, all this stuff. And it's like, oh, I don't know what that is, but I'm just going to call it locust, because that's the only word that I could use. Maybe it's drones for all we know. I don't know. Maybe it's these little mosquitoes that our friend Bill Gates created. I don't know what John's writing down.
But he was transported to what he was seeing future-wise.
What he was seeing, not what he heard.
Yeah.
He had to write down what he saw.
Yeah, and to be absent from the body, to be present with the Lord.
Yes.
Like, it's pretty clear that there's no break from the time that we to be in the presence of the Lord.
We're not sleeping in the ground. That's what Sadducees believe.
Exactly.
They don't believe in the resurrection. So why are we walking around saying there's no resurrection and there's one in the future?
Yeah. I feel
why
like
are we saying that?
Like when we're reading the word, and if the thought of like our resurrection held off until today is discounting everything that, like, the power of the resurrection.
Yeah, because they're incomplete in heaven then, like ghosts. Like, imagine you and I in heaven and like, oh, Amy, it's so nice to see you. And we go right through each other. Yeah. And it's like, oh, man, I sure can't wait to get this body that let me down on earth so many times, the one that I was abused in.
We wouldn't fall in the presence of the Lord.
Yeah.
Right? Wouldn't be whole, incomplete.
Yeah.
Accurate.
Yeah, we would be incomplete in heaven, waiting for something else to happen.
Right, in his spiritual laws and everything that he's obtained on the cross, we're discounting the power of resurrection.
Yeah,
I believe, right there, and there's nothing in scripture that backs this idea around that. Like, it's kind of me to think that there is a timeline that we have to wait to be resurrected.
Yeah. That doesn't make sense.
Makes sense. And
because even Jesus said, I see everything I do, I see the Father do.
Yeah.
And what did the Father do? Well, he rose people from the dead. Look at Elijah. Look at Elisha, raising the widow's son from the dead and all this kind of stuff. So God the Father is not a God of the dead. He's a God of the living. I'm not making this stuff up. This is all scripture, but we kind of skip over this stuff.
Yeah, it's important. Like that's the whole foundation of our faith, is resurrection.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
There's that
yeah,
the transfiguration is probably one of the deepest things to understand. You and I have went hours circling around that mountain going, what mountain is this? Where is this mountain? Like, what mountain did the devil take Jesus up to so that he could see all the nations? What is this mountain
I believe
that
it was
they
mountain.
keep going to, right? Like, is that
Yeah.
Jerusalem? Is that heavenly Jerusalem? Are we bridging between two worlds?
Well, that's what it seems like at the Mount of Transfiguration. Like we see that Peter was sleeping.
Yeah.
They were sleeping.
Yeah, they were all exhausted, whatever. Yeah.
Or what, like, where did he, it seems like he was also almost transported as well too, because he saw the glory of the Lord. It was
Yeah.
like a future event of what he's seeing.
Yeah, because Jesus' figure altered, his
Yeah.
face altered right before their very eyes. So did they, and this is hard to explain for even us, like even for me, to try and wrap my head. What if they were actually merging timelines or whatever it is, future, past, present, whatever it is, on this mountain that nobody seems to know? If you look up all the scholars, they don't know what mountain that was. They say it's here, they say it's there, but without 100% accuracy, they don't know which mountain this is. So then I'm like, well, they came down from a mountain and Jesus' face was transfigured, and Moses and Elijah were on this mountain talking to Jesus Christ about his decease. So, and Jesus said, don't tell them about the vision that you saw, which is interesting that he says that to his disciples. And then they only remembered it after he rose from the dead about the transfiguration.
Well,
Man,
they just remembered, or they knew that it was time that they were able to
knew that it was time to tell it because they weren't allowed. Basically, like, hey, don't tell them until later.
But it was also
because it probably wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, and there's probably also the revelatory piece to it as well too, and the deeper remembrance of the description at the like on the day of the, like, they were baptized, right, in the Holy Ghost. A lot of things came into connection at that point too.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Like, I know somebody mentioned here could be Mount Hermon, and we've talked about this too.
Yeah, lots of action going on that mountain when you talk about giants, angels. When you read the book of Enoch, whether you believe it was accurate or not, talks a lot about angels making a pact. I think there's like 200 of them on Mount Hermon.
Yeah. And it's like, sometimes I wonder too, like, and I know, like, with mountains, I've been doing more research and where these mountains are located, all these mountains that we're seeing throughout the Old and New Testament. And it's like, is this, I don't know, you could probably correct me on this if I'm just kind of I'm literally asking, could this be the same mountain that the Lord revealed, like, the promise to Abraham and the generations? Is this the same mountain? Perhaps maybe they were moved to, like, because they saw future, right? There's some kind of like time travel moment there that they were seeing, and I don't know how to describe that, but we're clearly some kind of change in atmosphere or what they're seeing, just like a lot of the prophets of future generations, like Abraham saw that. And also the future of what Jerusalem, I believe it's like the new Jerusalem, right, of what they're both seeing here. The new Jerusalem, two-stick prophecy coming together, also what Moses was seeing too. So he was like the promised land, he never got into the promised land, but the Lord showed him the promised land.
Yeah, that's interesting as well. And nobody could find his body after that. So where did he actually die? What time frame?
Yeah, it's interesting also too that the Lord protected the body too.
Yeah, for a reason. Yeah. The
Satan-
devil tried to go after it. Yep.
Yeah. And what's the reason behind that?
Yeah.
Right? Why to
Mhm.
falsify, like perhaps the resurrection
Mm-hmm.
of Moses' body to
Yep.
use to
Can you imagine the devil possessing Moses' body, the
yeah,
damage that he could do on earth?
yeah, crazy,
My
right?
goodness. Yeah.
There's why, and so you're putting all these dynamics of scripture that we're seeing this time and time again,
Yeah.
and we're seeing this like when we're bringing up the scriptures and these occurrences, and then now we have the Mount Transfiguration with Jesus, Elijah, and Moses, and we know that Elijah was removed; he didn't even death.
Yep.
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 It's interesting that these are the two men that are showing up on this mountain, and that Peter is seeing this, and it's in Jesus's full glory. So he's seeing future events. He's seeing something in future, and with
That's
the
what it feels like. Like it may be hard to prove, but man, it's sure leaning that there's something else going on there. This isn't just a little walk in the park. Let's go up this hill and have a chit chat and then come back down. Something. They either went somewhere dimensionally, don't know. Like something is, I just can't put my finger on it.
yeah, it's something that I feel the Holy Spirit's going to unravel deeper and deeper, because there's really going on here that's amazing. And the fact of like Peter's reaction is, I'm going to set up 3 tabernacles.
I know.
Like
on a mountain.
On a mountain. And it's like, what's Peter seeing? What is he thinking for him? I know, like, Peter, I relate myself a lot to Peter. Like, I'm not saying Peter, I'm not putting that my stat like up to that.
Yeah. But we could relate to him for sure.
There's times that, just the things he does and says, and like I see that.
Thank God for Peter.
Yeah, he's very real. But I mean, at the same time, he could have been like so eager, like to please him. Like, I just want to like, set up 3 tabernacles, and that eager of serving, but not the full dynamic. But why did Peter quickly revert to wanting to set up 3 tabernacles?
Yeah, how much time did he think they had to sit up in a mountain to build not 1, not 2, but 3 tabernacles for 3 people? That's a big deal. Jesus, you get a tabernacle. Moses, you get another tabernacle. And Elijah, you get another tabernacle. Are we talking about homes, dwelling places? Where in the world did Peter think he was, that he had that much time to think of that idea that I'm going to start building you guys 3 tabernacles right here?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I like what Bubba said here. God didn't want his body to be revered because Moses was like Godfather. And God knew the Jews would want to preserve his body since they came out of Egypt with knowledge of embalming, etc. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's interesting too.
Yeah, that's right. And also
worship him. Who knows, right?
The idol.
Right? Worship the body.
Yeah.
Like they do at the Tut or whatever it is. Like people are so excited to bring out, I think it was King Tut. I don't know. I'm making this stuff up because I don't really know anything about King Tut, but perhaps people discovered a tomb with a guy wrapped, a mummy, and then they're like, wow, this is like 2,000 years old, and they're all excited about that. Imagine doing that, finding that from Moses, that this is actually Moses' body. Are you kidding me? There would be a lineup from one side of the Middle East to the other to kiss his body. If you think the black rock is kissable and you could lick the black rock, imagine the tomb of Moses. Imagine the wrapped body.
Yeah.
People would not, they already worship the brazen serpent.
Yeah.
They already worship that thing.
Yeah.
So
they've already been through that a few times. Yeah. 100%. There's many dynamics to reasons why the Lord does something when you're reading into the word, right? There's so many.
And you can't pick that up the first time, and you can't pick it up by reading 1 verse a day.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've read the New Testament. I'm almost done the New Testament since June. So I've slowed down quite a bit. But this is like my 13, 14, 15th time. And now I'm just going, wait a minute. Whoa. Transfiguration, Mount of Trans. Where is this on the map? And you look it up. You're doing a deep dive. You use our best friend, ChatGPT. Don't know. Don't know where this mountain is. Sources say this, sources say that. Nobody knows where this mountain is.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of easy to narrow down that it's in Israel, but why don't we know where this mountain is?
Yeah.
Why?
And Hermon is it's like northern Israel.
Yes, northern Israel.
So if
Yeah.
look back, and I feel like some people, just because of what was going on before that and the timelines of correct me if I'm wrong, I'd have to pull up, but they were on some type of mountain. They came back down and they walked, what is it, for 6 days or so, and went up this mountain. Am I just?
Yeah, maybe it was 3 days after something happened. I think I remember that in another version. Yeah.
Yeah. The timeline there that why some scholars believe that it was Mount Hermon that this.
Yeah. And that's fair. That's fair.
Interesting.
I don't mind that at all. I'm like, okay, it's Mount Hermon. Okay. But that doesn't answer the question, why did Peter think that a tabernacle would be a good thing to build on a mountain when they're just coming down? Like, that still doesn't explain why Jesus' face was transfigured to his glory, why his image actually was altered, and why Moses and Elijah were there. And again, a lot of people could build a strong case that Moses and Elijah are the two witnesses in the book of Revelation. Like, you can actually build a strong argument that it's those people. I used to think maybe Enoch, because he was translated, that he didn't see death and all this, but he was translated. So that kind of takes him out, because now he has his new heavenly body. He's not able to be killed. And then you have Moses that died. And it's like, okay, that's kind of interesting. But we don't know what happened to Paul. You could say legend has it he had his head beheaded and he was done, but we don't see it in scripture. So I'm not saying that he died mysteriously or whatever, but he kind of did. He kind of did. Like, we don't really know. All we can go off of is a little bit of church history that would say, oh yeah, he was executed by Rome. But when last we saw him in the book of Acts, he was released. He was basically allowed, I should say, he was allowed to have people come and visit him as they wanted. And that's how Acts ends. It kind of ends kind of weird, like almost like an open book. So I'm not saying that Paul would be one of the witnesses, but there are some things that we can't tie up with a nice little bow and say, that's Elijah, that's Moses, or that's Enoch, or that's Elijah, or whatever. Like, it's hard, right, to figure that out. Don't know who it is. I'm leaning towards Moses and Elijah. I think because Elijah is the one that calls fire down and smokes people left, right, and center, and Moses brought plagues in Egypt. So the idea is these guys can rain plagues as often as they want for 3.5 years.
And these two would be very recognizable to the Jews at this time.
Oh, yeah.
Right? In a sense of, like, they would know, like, they're claiming who they say they would know Old Testament.
Yeah.
Paul, that would be a different story. They would completely reject it.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So, like, that's just
you kind of need, it feels like you kind of need someone from the Old Testament for the Jews to go, okay, we got to pay attention to these guys or reject them or whatever it is. It almost feels like it has to be something like that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Very interesting. It's so profound, and it's so fascinating to dig deep in the word, and daily, and because amazing revelation, the Holy Spirit continues to unravel. And it's an exciting times that we're living in, that's for sure.
Yep.
And
speaking of exciting times, I have to go to sleep because I got to take the garbage out tomorrow. I got to wrap that up nicely, right? But yeah, thanks, sister, for popping on. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Love you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I love the interaction.
Yeah, no, it's a good crowd tonight. I think people really like the overtime kind of a feel where we just have fun, relax, treat it like a bit of a party, going away party, if you will. in case we get raptured anytime soon. Maybe people will watch this channel and go, what are these guys talking about here?
They probably like, what are these guys talking?
Yeah, they probably think that right now. Like, what am I watching here? This is so crazy. But it's because I've had a lot of coffee. I've had a lot of Black Swan coffee tonight. I warned people before. I had coffee at 8:30. I'm like, look out. I shouldn't be having coffee this late at night because I'll probably stay awake now all night long. But hey, I'm young. I'm young. I recognize myself as a 30-year-old right now.
Nice. Me too.
Yeah.
20.
28 and a half. Yeah. Well, you are 28. So who are we kidding? All right. Okay. Thanks everyone. If you wouldn't mind hanging out just in the back real quick there, sis, but I'll say goodbye to everyone. Bye everyone. You want to say bye to them?
Thanks for coming on.
Awesome. We'll see you again next week. Join us on Sunday. Sunday's going to be cool. I'll even try and convince my sister to show up on Rev 5. Okay. Good night, everyone.
Good night.